it's not one definition. That's for sure. Beauty can mean so many different things. There's beauty in trials, there's beauty in storms, there's beauty in accomplishments, there's beauty in so many things. I think us as individuals, we need to focus on the positives.
Welcome to the Beauty Talk podcast, where we feature how the best medical practitioners help their patients to look better, younger, and healthier. Now, enjoy the show, and here's your host.
Daniel Gao here. I'm the host of Beauty Talk. We feature the top medical practitioners in health and beauty, both inside and out. I have Cassandra Galvin, an entrepreneur, trainer, and founder of Sculpt One Studio and Skin Revive, specializing in non-surgical body sculpting, weight loss wellness, and advanced aesthetic treatments. She also created her own professional product line, designed specifically for other studios and medical spas to have access to high-quality, performance-based products at an affordable cost, without sacrificing results or safety. Cassandra has trained and mentored aspiring providers across the industry, helping them elevate their standards, systems, and skill sets while becoming more profitable and confident in their craft. She turned her personal adversity into purpose, now pouring into women daily through education, transformation, and faith-based empowerment. Her mission is to help them feel worthy, powerful, and aligned, while building an abundant life they are proud of inside and outside of business. So Cassandra, welcome and glad to have you here.
Thank you so much. I'm excited.
Yeah, so let's start with this. How did you first get interested in the medical field?
I think I've always had an interest in it. I went into managing multiple clinics, and then I just decided to go into the beauty industry, which was honestly, I feel my passion and my calling.
Okay. And then with your practice, I mean, why start your own practice? I mean, why not just work for, it sounds like you did work for other practices as a manager. So like what kind of led you to want to start your own practice?
I wanted to make sure I created a safe space for women. And I feel like I can control that. Um, Instead of having to work for somebody else and go based off of their vision. My
Mhm.
vision is really just to have a safe space for women overall, our clients, our employees, um, and just really get into the beauty industry, but work with beauty in a deeper meaning, not just physical.
Mhm. Okay. And kind of introduction was talk about kind of how you are looking for more than just the business, more than just the individual life, but going deeper than that, just as you mentioned. I guess kind of what prompted you to have that passion for this, to really want to do this and really help other female entrepreneurs in their business and in their life?
If I'm being 100% honest and transparent with you today, is because I grew up not feeling worthy, right? Not feeling confident because of the things that I went through in my life. And I just wanted to make sure that I did my part in helping, and it sounds so cheesy, right? Helping the
Mhm.
world be a better place, but just lifting other women up and even men, right? Because we have male clients also, right? But
Mhm.
just lifting people up, letting them know that they're not alone in their journey. And just because they've been through certain situations, that doesn't mean they have to feel bad about themselves. It's just a part of their testimony and their journey, right?
Mhm.
So for us, we really want to make sure that we're really emphasizing to our clients that we're not here to, make them look like whatever celebrity, right? We're here to help them be a better version of themselves every day, just enhancing their beauty and honestly pouring into them in their sessions that they have with us. And I also wanted to do that with our product line, was really mentor and train other business owners to have that same mentality, right? Because I feel like if we all rally together in this beauty industry that's really cutthroat, um, the more people that are there to encourage um, their patients, then we can really make a difference.
Mhm. Okay. And with your product line, what type of products are you offering? I'm assuming you're offering them mostly to other medical practices, other med spas, not so much to the uh, consumer so much.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes. So we have a product line. We have a lipolytic solution that targets stubborn fat cells. We have our tightening solution that helps with tightening flaccid skin. And then we have our curve solution that helps with enhancing volume on the glutes.
Okay. And within your introduction, I was talking about as far as this is like performance based, but also affordable. Could you talk a little bit more about that? Like the high quality performance based, what does that mean to the average person?
Yes. So we're not sacrificing using products that are not FDA approved. Our products are FDA approved. It took us many years, but we got it done. So they're able to use FDA approved products that are high quality ingredients, natural ingredients, um, but also we're able to give good results. So if somebody's barely starting their med spa, obviously they want to try to save as much as they can. They're able to purchase a high quality product solution and still be able to have good profit margins.
Okay. And I want to dive a little bit deeper because we touched on this a little bit as far as why you want to help women, also men as well, but because of kind of your background and the journey that you've gone through. I'd like to dive a little bit deeper into that as far as how, when you speak to particularly women on identity, on confidence, because
Mhm.
where do you start with them? Like what's the questions you ask and like where do you try and help them to figure out where they are so that you can help them get to where they want to be?
Yeah, so I mean, our consultations are very personal, right? I start with an introduction. I want them to feel comfortable, but I want to get to know what their goals are, right? And when we talk about what their goals are, we get to the root of the why, right? And then a lot of our patients tell us like they feel like it's a double whammy, right? They get a
Mhm.
therapy session and then they also get their treatments, right?
Mhm.
But they kind of just open up, right? And I feel like if we're providing that safe space, they feel comfortable enough to open up about their journey and why they feel a certain way about themselves. Um, so it just works hand in hand.
Okay. And then through the confidence part of it, I'm guessing that the confidence part comes after they figure out what their goals are and them hitting their goals. And then from there, they feel that confidence.
Right.
But is that kind of the extent of it, or do you feel like there's more that you see as far as what that transformation does for them?
I mean, honestly, just to give you some examples, I've talked to um, a woman in her 50s who never in her life wore a dress because she never felt comfortable. And that was her goal. So she was able to go to Vegas for her birthday, wear a dress, and feel confident. Another patient of ours that was in their 30s, she was going to go on a beach trip and she had never worn a two-piece bikini and
Mhm.
she wore it and she felt confident, right? It's just those little things that I know it sounds so minute and insignificant to some people, but it really truly is like, hey, I've never been able to do this. Now I'm finally able to have that confidence to be able to wear that two-piece and be fearless, right? Or wear that dress and really have a good time and not worry about how I'm looking, but truly enjoy my birthday,
Mhm. Okay.
So
Yeah. Yeah. So I guess is it just the physical part of it, or do you feel like there's something more that helps them build up their confidence? Like, is it more that it's not necessarily that, oh, I'm looking kind of as I want to now. It's maybe in some situations that like they just didn't feel confident even getting on this journey and just going through the journey itself gave them confidence.
I think it takes a lot for some women to even take that first step and make the consultation to even for them to even feel like they're worthy enough to be able to spend a little bit of time on themselves for that
Mm.
self-care. So it's a big sacrifice for a lot of women, especially with where we're from. We have um that typical Latin culture, right? Where men are the machismos, right? Is what they call
Mm.
it. And so a lot of the times these women are put down or they're cheated on and so on and so forth. They go through so much and they don't feel like they're worthy enough to even spend a couple $100s on themselves because of how they've been made to feel, right?
Mhm.
So even them coming in and setting up an appointment is a big deal for them, right?
Mhm.
So, I mean, I've had one client in our Harlingen location that it took her over a year to even come in. And now she's like, oh my God, it's like the best decision I ever made. I should have done it sooner. And I'm like, it's okay. It's all in God's timing, right? Everything happens for a reason and everything will align when it's supposed to. But yeah, for some women, it's a big deal for them to even take that time for themselves.
So, what piece of advice would you give to any women out there that is kind of lacking that confidence? They've been thinking about doing something, but they haven't been able to take that first step. Like, where would you start with them? Like, what piece of advice you would give them to just try and get them to take that first step?
Yes. So, I mean, the way we try to even put our business out there is just letting them know that, hey, I'm here. Our team is here to help you with your journey, right? I feel like they come in and they're in their most vulnerable states when they come in, right? So we really and truly want to make sure that they know that we're here for them. And so I just feel like self-care, you shouldn't feel guilty about it. But when we work on ourselves as a woman, and I know this personally, when we spend a little bit of time, and self-care can mean so many things, right? It's not just aesthetics wise. Um, but even just taking that little, being purposeful and taking a little bit of time for us individually as people, right? Um, hey, like we're making that sacrifice, investing in ourselves, and then reminding ourselves, right, that just because we went through certain things in our life doesn't mean that that defines us, right?
Mhm.
If anything, we should embrace it because it makes us the people that we are today. We
Mhm.
learn from it, we grow from it, and then we share our stories because who knows, right? Who knows who else it could help.
Mm.
So,
That's a really good point you bring up. Even sometimes just hearing other stories of women that went through the same thing, that sometimes is enough to get them just to take that first step.
right, right.
Okay. Now, Cassandra, I want to dive a little bit deeper into your practice. What are some of the most common treatments that you provide to your clients?
Our most popular treatment is our skinny shots, where we
Mm.
target localized fat in specific areas that no matter what they do, they cannot get rid of, let's say, the chin or the abdomen. A lot of us mommies have that stubborn lower uh, abdomen area. And so our skinny shots with our lipolytic solution can actually target those areas that no matter what we do, we can't get rid of. That's exactly what our little magic is for.
Got it. Okay. And so for those skinny shots, I'm assuming it's not or is it different from GLP-1s and
Correct.
peptides? So how is it different from those ones? If people's looking for some type of weight loss solution, how would you compare your skinny shots versus the GLP-1s?
So, perfect example is I tell my clients our GLP-1 medication is for weight loss, right?
Mm-hmm.
Even though you're on a weight loss program, you can lose, let's say 20, 30 pounds, but you still have that area that won't go away.
Mm.
That's exactly where our skinny shots come in and complement those areas. We have clients that have not been on GLP-1 and we still have really great results with our skinny shots. It's our skin lipo from our product line
Ah, okay, got it. So, and why do you think that this treatment is so popular?
because we all have those stubborn areas, like all of us, that no matter what we do, whether it's getting rid of the stubborn fat cells or the tightening solution, we can always combine two. So all of our treatments are personalized to each person's body.
Okay. Could you speak on that one? Because I think when most people think about medicine, maybe there's a little bit of personalization in it, but I think not so much that if people have never been in the aesthetic side of it. So, how much are you personalizing across all these different treatments?
100%.
Mm.
100%. Every session where they come in might not always look the same. we want to make sure that we're tailoring each session to how their body's changing to make sure that we help them get to their goals.
Okay. And so you have the Skinny Shop. What are some of the other common or popular treatments that your clients come to you for?
Our non-surgical BBL.
Okay.
So it's a series of injections as well of
Mhm.
our natural solution as well, our skin curve. And it helps with enhancing volumes or on the glutes, helping with cellulite. It also helps with shaping as well.
Mhm.
So it'll vary based off what their goals are.
Okay, got it. And between, because you mentioned that non-surgical is a lot of what you do. For people
Yes.
who again who have never really looked at any type of aesthetic treatment, what would you say is the biggest differences? And we can use this treatment as an example between surgical and non-surgical. People are considering each one.
No downtime,
Okay.
right? Nobody has time for that nowadays. I
Yeah.
feel like everybody's just so busy. The beauty of our treatments is you can actually come in during your lunch break, get your treatments, and then go back to work.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Mhm.
So really is no downtime.
Correct. Yeah, no downtime at all.
Okay. Now, for the treatments that you offer, I'm sure that you've heard a lot of myths or misconceptions about them. What would you say is some of the most common myths or misconceptions you hear from your clients about some of the treatments that you offer?
So, I guess they've been to other aesthetic places and haven't really gotten the results, right, that they've been looking for. Um, but as I mentioned earlier, we have that magic secret, right? And that's our
Mhm.
product line that we've worked really, really hard for
Mhm.
in developing for so many years. So we did trial and error until we finally came up with the right formulation to get the results.
Okay, got it. Now, Cassandra, let's say that someone is looking for a provider to help them with some type of treatment, aesthetic procedure, and they're not quite sure what they're looking for, or they don't know anybody in their area. What advice would you give to that person as they're doing the search to make sure that they find that right person that has the knowledge, has the skill set, and that they feel comfortable with?
Consultations are always important. I mean, you have to go where it feels right. And if you have to do several consultations, that's okay, but at least you're making sure that you are getting to the right place that you feel comfortable, is really listening to your needs, who has the education as far as knowledge and, how they can help each treatment, each person in what their goals are.
Mm. And are there any red flags that they should be aware of or keep an eye out for?
Somebody that's just, yes, let me treat you, right? We've turned a
Mm.
lot of patients away that we know we can't help, right? Or um, somebody who's not checking them medically, right? By law, we have to do a good faith exam to
Mhm.
make sure that they're cleared for treatment.
Mm, okay. So if they're not doing consults, what about quality of product? Is that something they should also be aware of? Like what product they're
Yes.
being injected with, and then how do they, I guess, keep an eye out if it's good product or not, or bad product?
Yeah. I mean, research, you have to do your research, right? And make sure that what you're at least getting is FDA approved. That's number one.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So ask, well, I guess even if it wasn't, they probably wouldn't say that it's not FDA approved, would they? Or maybe they would try and kind of sneak it under if a practice was not using FDA approved product.
Right.
Okay. So, but it doesn't hurt to do a little bit of research, kind of figure out what are good products, what are bad products, and what to kind of keep an eye out for.
Right. And results, right? You want to make
Mm.
sure that they're showing you before and after photos.
Mm. Okay. Okay. Now, Cassandra, when you're, because we talked a little bit before about personalization, and everyone is slightly different depending on their situation. How do you approach educating your clients on the benefits? Because I'm sure people come in, some maybe it's their first time, some maybe are a little bit reluctant. So how do you approach that educational piece? Like really telling them like, hey, this is what's gonna be the best fit for you, so that they really understand what the benefits are.
Right. It's also just making sure that they know what they're going to expect throughout the process also, right? Is because if you give them no knowledge and what they can expect, right? And that's why we make sure we do that from beginning to end, right? Our
Mm,
client will come in, we get to know what their goals are, and then we give them our recommendations, right? And one thing is we also let them know, hey, your session might not always be the same, right? And that's okay because we're going to be tailoring things each visit based off of where we're getting their results.
okay. And creativity. I want to get your thoughts on what role does creativity play in how you approach your patient care? Because I think when people think about medicine, creativity is probably not at the top of their list as far as words that they use to describe it. But you talked a little bit about, or quite a bit about personalization and things along those lines. So, how important is creativity in what you do?
Me personally, I like to just really be genuine, right? And I feel like if we're connecting, you can put all these funny reels out there, but if you're not connecting with, or you're not putting your message out there and really connecting with people, then they're not going to come, right?
Mm,
So I think it's important to be genuine in what your purpose is and what message you really want to give to people of what you're all about, right?
mhm,
Uh, I feel like one of our biggest things, and it's kind of like it's a like it doesn't make sense for me to say, but it's not about superficial, right? Because people think aesthetics is superficial, but it's so much deeper than working on the superficial.
mhm. And I think that's a really big piece that's missing from the aesthetics industry as far as perception of it. I think your
Uh-huh.
average person who's not in the aesthetics industry, they hear about aesthetics like, oh, it's just about vanity, it's all about looks. But very often the most memorable stories that I hear from practitioners are the ones where people was maybe got in an accident or was just born with not a deformity, but like something that made them feel not normal or feel lesser than other people. And when they
Yeah,
just got that resolved and they just got to being normal again, that's what skyrocketed their confidence. It's not about just, I want to be the best looking person. It's just, I just want to
right.
feel normal. I want to feel confident in my own skin.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Being
So,
confident in their own skin.
yeah. And with that in mind, is I guess for that, do you have a story that's maybe a memorable story or maybe a challenging case that you can share of someone that came in and how you were able to get them a great result in the end?
A breast cancer survivor,
Oh,
right,
wow.
came in for
Hmm.
our hair restoration
Hmm.
services, and they felt like they didn't have hope when it came to a bald spot, you know. And so they were able to get that regrowth in their hair and feel more confident, you know. Obviously, regrowing hair does take time, right? But I mean, just even seeing those follicles start to, come out, that's a big change,
Hmm.
hope.
Yeah. Yeah, and again, like the story that came to your mind was not someone who's like, oh, I want to look better than everybody else. It was just, I just want to look normal again.
Yeah, I mean, that's one somebody who just got divorced, who was
Mm,
in an abusive marriage for a very long time, who felt like she didn't deserve anything, came in, we helped her with her abdomen and slowly went into do other treatments, right? But just to see her within a couple of months transform her confidence. She wouldn't even give eye contact when I first consulted with
mm,
her,
wow.
and for her to go from that to now like this beautiful butterfly who went on a date and has, a partner now because when she first came in, she didn't think that she was worthy of that,
Mhm.
you know?
Yeah. And I think this is again another piece that's people don't have this perception that the aesthetics industry can really change lives. And it's not in the sense where it's where we kind of talked about before. It's not just about the looks. It's about how can you just get your confidence back, and then from that confidence, how can you live a much better, more beautiful life? Because
Right,
so,
right.
Cassandra, where do you think the future of aesthetics is going?
Oh man, I think the future of aesthetics is going to be amazing, right? If we're able to give great transformations now, imagine then. I mean, regenerative medicine, peptide therapies.
Mm,
I mean, I just feel like it's only improving and getting better, right? I just feel like we need to rally together of us practitioners that are in the aesthetic industry and really hone in on remembering why we're doing this, what the purpose is, and having integrity, right, with the treatments that we're giving to our clients.
And for your practice, Sculpt One Studio, what's your vision for your practice?
Oh man, my vision is just to help as many women as I can, and just make a difference in their lives, a positive difference. Help more women feel more confident, and really and truly reminding them to embrace and be their own kind of beautiful. Because not beauty doesn't beauty's not a cookie cutter image, right? It's not as beautiful as I think Kim Kardashian is, right? She's a beautiful woman, but she's not the only kind of beautiful, and so I want to remind the daily people or the regular people that that's not the standard, right? They're their own standard. So just to embrace who they are in their beauty.
Well said. So I guess how often do you get somebody coming in and they show you a picture of somebody on Instagram that it's obviously very heavily filtered or doctored, and like, I want to look like this? How do you handle situations like that?
I just ask them why. Like,
Mhm.
what about that individual do you like, right? Um, and then I tell them, well, you are beautiful too. What do you like about yourself? What's your favorite thing about yourself? And then they're kind of like, wait, what? And I'm like, well, yeah, like you have a beautiful smile, you have beautiful hair, you have, just kind of putting the focus back on them and saying, okay, you want to work a little bit on maybe having rounder glutes. Okay, we can work on that, but not necessarily focusing on, okay, let's replicate this person, right?
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, well said. Now, Cassandra, I have one last question for you, but before I ask it, I do want to point people to your websites at sculpt1.com and
Yes.
skinrevivecosmetics.com.
Yes.
Now, last question for you. I think we've kind of touched on this quite a bit throughout this interview, but what does beauty mean to you?
It's not one definition, that's for sure. Beauty can mean so many different things. There's beauty in trials, there's beauty in storms, there's beauty in accomplishments, there's beauty in so many things. I think us as individuals, we need to focus on the positives and I guess appreciate the beauty of things. So I don't feel like there's one definition of beauty, right?
Mhm.
It can mean and look in so many different ways. But that's the beauty of it.
Yep. True words have never been said. Okay. Well, there you have it. Cassandra sharing her expertise. So, Cassandra, where can people contact you in your practice?
They can contact us on our website, as you mentioned. They can find us on social media at Sculpt One Studio or Skin Revive Cosmetics, or they can even contact us at 956-598-3535.
Awesome. Well, Cassandra, this is great. Thank you for coming on. Thank you for sharing your knowledge, and thank you for sharing your expertise.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thanks for listening to the Beauty Talk podcast. Any questions, please contact the practice directly with the contact information provided during the show. We'll see you again next time. Bye for now.